So hey guys, welcome to another Warframe video, and today we're gonna do something forbidden. We're gonna take a weapon and not build it for maximum damage. Yes, indeed. So please pick up the friends that inevitably fainted due to the absolute absurdity of my comment, and let's do something fun with the Staticor. So here it is. This is the thing. Now, this isn't a build that you would normally run on the Staticor because it has good status and it has good coverage, so you would normally lean more towards status and less towards, straight up damage. You might even try to squeeze in some crit. But we don't want to do that, obviously, so instead gonna put on Prime Fulmination and enemy agility to use the charged attacks, which will now have a range of 15.94 meters. Now, to put this into perspective, that's almost 3 times as much range as a polearm with primed reach. And before someone says something in the comments, no, this is not classified as a launcher, so unfortunately the amalgam organ shatter for the Furax doesn't work. Now, the damage is actually not too bad, especially considering that you're gonna be hitting, in the vast majority of tile sets, the entire room with every single shot. It's ridiculous. Now, the reason I went for pure damage mods rather than dual stats is pretty simple. I just wanted as much damage as possible so that I can one-shot things with the charged attacks for as long as possible and hopefully make it through the entire star chart without having to two-shot things too terribly often. And it actually ended up doing more damage than I expected it to. I expected it to do like okay-ish damage, but the damage is actually quite decent. You can even brute force your way through Corpus with corrosive and heat, though it would of course be better to either run toxin or gas or viral or heat or something like that instead, but if you hit them fast enough so they don't regain their shield gate, you can kill them pretty fast as well. It is not, however, a weapon for the steel path. I mean, you can kind of make it work in low-end infested missions where they aren't too high of a level, and maybe even low-end Corpus missions if you go with toxin or gas, but that was not the point. The point was to just have a ludicrous weapon for the star chart. I also wanted it to be reliable, which is why I didn't in the end go with crit, which is something you can do if you're just gonna tap fire it fast enough, and maybe you even have a Riven with decent enough stats, though nowadays that's gonna be difficult because of the Riven disposition on this thing. But on the heavies, it's just too unreliable. It will not crit most of the time, so I didn't want to do it. Plus, it gave me more flexibility with the mod setup, so I could run Fulmination as well as anemic agility for the faster charge time. And the result is, well, just amazing. I love it. It is so much fun to use, and it constantly surprises me with how big the explosion actually is, because you kind of don't expect it to be that big, right? You fire off the charged fire, and then an enemy on the other side of the room falls over, and you're like, damn, did it really hit him all the way over there? And yes, it did. It absolutely did. To the point where sometimes it can feel a little bit odd. Like, for example, if you're doing Sanctuary Onslaught, it looks like you're not hitting anything most of the time, yet the efficiency stays at 100 because you're just hitting enemies through floors, walls, doors. It just doesn't care. You will hit enemies behind you a lot of the time as well. I mean, if the tile is not too big, you can literally just stand in the middle of it and fire this thing into the floor, and you will make it through with 100% efficiency. Now, is doing something like this worth it? Because you will have to invest Forma into the weapon to put everything on. It is quite an expensive build indeed if you want to go with the exact same setup that I'm using. And my answer to that is, well, it kind of depends. Like, do you value fun? Because this is really fun. It's also really good for farming as well, because it absolutely annihilates any resource containers and it makes clearing missions really fast. But it's ultimately up to you. Do you think throwing around mini nukes is fun? If yes, then go for it. Give it a shot. And that is pretty much it. So I thank you very much for watching as always, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I'll see you some other time. Bye-bye.